I'm going to be showing you how guided mode for Mentor AI works on our platform. The first piece here is having a course that you're going to connect to your mentor. Here we have an engineering computations course, and just so you can kind of get an idea of what this looks like in terms of the course content, we're going to go into the first module here. So this is just a basic intro module unit that's called, what is Python? It just kind of goes into the beginnings of what Python is, how it's used, so on and so forth. And the rest of the course continues to build upon this. Now, the next piece here is actually going into our admin panel into the memory component settings. I've already set this one up to be guided. You can see that I've connected it to this engineering comp mentor that we already have created, and a catalog item, which is actually the course we were just looking at. Now, there are a couple of different options in terms of what type of guided mentor you can have. We have spaced repetition, which will repeat quiz questions based on the spaced repetition algorithm, meaning if you ask, or the mentor asks the learner a question, the learner gets it wrong, later down the road, the mentor is going to repeat that same question until they get it right. If there are no issues with the way the learner answered that question, then the questions will change as they continue throughout their learning journey. As the memory of the mentor knows where that learner is at, it can kind of customize the questions to exactly where the learner is in their learning journey. Instruction mode is going to teach the user about the questions before actually giving a question. So it'll give a little bit of information and then ask a question based off that specific topic. Now, Socratic mode is going to be more discussion focused. The mentor is going to talk about the question with the learner and a step-by-step approach. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to do spaced repetition and instruction mode, and we can actually hop over to the mentor. So now that you've seen the guided mentor configuration process, we're actually now going to chat with that guided mentor. This is really helpful for learners who need a little push to get, further in their course journey, their learning journey, etc. It's going to ask them questions and provide information alongside of it because we've set up that spaced repetition. And also that instruction mode. If I'm getting these questions wrong, as I continue my conversation with this mentor, it's going to actually ask me the same questions over and over again. This is really helpful when it comes to addressing learning gaps for the learner and proactively teaching them. So to start the lesson, I'm just going to tell the mentor, start lesson. Now it's giving me a little bit of information, but also asking me to answer a question to get started here. Let's see. So it's asking me for what programming environment is primarily used for interactive computing in scientific disciplines, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So I'm going to go with, I'm not quite sure about the answer. I'm just selecting one here. And what you can see is the mentor is actually telling me, it's a good try, but, this is actually what the correct answer is. And now I'm revisiting that question because I did get it wrong. So now that I'm not quite sure still, I'm just going to keep guessing. I'm just going to put B this time. This time I got it correct. And it's asking me if I want to go into another topic or another question. I'm going to say, can you explain loops in Python? I'm just selecting one of the guided prompts, which are AI generated prompts based off of the conversation history with this mentor. All right, so we get that little bit of explanation that I asked for. So I'm going to say, quiz me on loops. All right. And again, I'm just going to put in a quick answer so we can see what the response looks like. All right. So you can see that this really helps with, getting learners very much engaged with the materials. It's going to be asking them questions, making them think critically as they continue to have conversations with this mentor. A really cool piece about guided mentors is as an admin, you're actually going to be able to see what questions your learners are being asked, how well they're performing on them. You can see that we're taking a look at the question cards that I was personally asked while communicating with this mentor. And if we select just one of these guys, you can see this is the same question that I was asked while chatting with the mentor. This really helps admins or instructors understand, where learners' gaps are, what kind of questions are causing issues in terms of, understanding, wherever those learning gaps might be. This really does help identify them. You can see how many times the question was repeated, what the correct answer is, how many intervals between the last time that question was asked and when it was asked again. And you can see, again, when it was last reviewed, next review, the specific student, the mentor, and the course associated with it. So this really helps instructors and admins get a higher level understanding of exactly what their learners need to understand better, where they're failing, where they're doing really great, and so on and so forth. You really have a lot of visibility into what's going on with your learners, which helps you as an instructor provide them a better learning experience.